This one thing would make the Oklahoma City Thunder completely unstoppable going into next season. I'm talking about Cason Wallace actually becoming the true sixth man for the Oklahoma City Thunder. He started in the NBA Finals in Game 1. That was the only game he started in the NBA playoffs. He didn't look completely bad at all, but you can tell the lineup was struggling a little bit with him in that starting role. He just might be better as a bench player, being that sixth man coming off the bench for the Thunder with his defense and scoring capabilities. But there are steps that he has to take going into next season if he truly wants to help the Thunder win back-to-back championships and unlock this team into becoming the greatest team of all time in NBA history. Before we get into all this, though, quick moment to recognize that around 74% of you guys are not yet subscribed to the channel, but yet you're coming back on a regular basis. If you're coming back on a regular basis, you enjoy the content we're putting out here on the channel, or if you're new and you like what we're doing here, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. It's the best way to support the channel. With that out of the way, let's go ahead, get into talking about it a little bit. Cason Wallace, he is, I think, the X factor for the Thunder for years into the future. He is a player that isn't going to cost you a max contract, but he can cost something similar to what we see with Alex Caruso's deal right now, making close to $20 million a year. I see Cason Wallace having that kind of potential in him. He has the potential to make that kind of money. When you look at his defensive capabilities, he already received all defensive votes this past season as a second-year player, and he was coming off the bench. He started in probably, I think, 10 games last year. So you can see right there, look, Cason Wallace is legit. He can, be an all defensive caliber player. Maybe not all NBA, but definitely all defensive caliber. You can pay someone like that $20 million if he's also going to give you around 10 points a game as well. You see it with Dort. You see it with Alex Caruso. There are so many players out there right now that make that kind of money at the, kind of ceiling that Cason Wallace can have. So I kind of see it with him as well, and I'm not the only one. Ivan White over at Sports Illustrated thinks so as well. He wrote an article talking about it actually, and that kind of inspired me to make this video here. Entering next season with the same young core, the Thunder are heavy favorites to become the first back-to-back champions in nearly a decade. Of course, other contending squads have gotten better, and the Thunder have a clear target on their back. While there are plenty of players who can make their next step next season, Cason Wallace might be the Thunder's most important. Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren have already reached star status, and many of the Thunder's other role players have shown their potential peaks. However, Wallace is still a bit of an unknown in that category. After the Thunder traded for him on draft night in 2023, Wallace has been a key part of the Thunder's rotation, bringing elite perimeter defense, solid outside shooting, and incredible athleticism. And I agree with Ivan 100% every step of the way here when talking about Cason Wallace right here. He has, some good outside shooting. He struggled to start the year, start the season on the outside shooting, struggled in the playoffs a little bit as well. But once he figured it out, he was a great three-point shooter, definitely a top 5 three-point shooter on the team. And you need a guy like that off the bench. He was also a top 5 defender on the team off the bench, maybe even top 3 when you look at what he does. And there's a lot of things that go into how good of a player Cason Wallace truly is. And when I talked about the defense, that's a main thing. This right here is just a little montage of him blocking jump shots. Look at him right here, guarding Jaylen Brown. Look at that, staying in front of him, goes straight up and blocks it. He doesn't even try to poke it away. He just puts his hand straight up. And you see it every time. See, he's not trying to swat it in the stands. He just rises up. He rises up and forces them to try to shoot it over them, and he realizes if he can do that, he can block the shot. As you can see on Luka Doncic right there, he blocked it right back into him again. It's every single thing. Look at that. Help defense in the corner as well. Blocks Jonathan Kuminga. That is what I think is the most underrated aspect of his defense, is the fact that he can contest shots out on the perimeter. He can. His help defense, as you can see right there, is great. He jumps out, gets a hand on the shot right there. Truly is a next level kind of defender when it comes to these plays. Look at that help defense again, all the way out there, blocks the shot. He truly is great when it comes to this aspect of his game, but there are areas he can improve, and Ivan White said so as well. Let's go ahead and check it out here. Considering the Thunder could blow out many teams again next season, have a deep roster, his minutes and role might not increase all that much, but elite would still be clear. Along with his improved playmaking for himself and others, Wallace could soon show that he can truly carry the Thunder's offense for stretches. Although he's likely to be on the floor with one of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams at all times, Wallace could still show his ability to put the ball on the floor and expand his scoring in a similar way to Aaron Wiggins' breakout last season. In year 3, Wallace might not hit Wiggins' 15 points per game mark from a year ago, but hitting the double-digit threshold would still be huge. Add in that his 2.5 assists were already 5th on the team, he could easily move into 3rd on that list and even flirt with 5 assists a night. And we can go ahead and take a look at his averages last season. He averaged 27.6 minutes a game, and on those minutes per game, he was putting up 8.4 points a game, 3.4 rebounds, 2.5 assists. He was also getting almost 2 steals a game and half a block a game. That kind of shows you what I was talking about with his defense capability. That is the best aspect of his game, his defense. And I think that's what played a part in the Thunder having an all-time great defense last year, with Alex Caruso out for stretches, with Isaiah Hartenstein out for stretches, with Chet Holmgren missing over half the season last year. Some of your best defenders out on the court being out, Cason Wallace stepped up and almost averaged 2 steals a game. That number is what almost got him an all-defensive team nod. That number alone is his steal numbers. If he can improve his blocks per game on these minutes, if he can get close to a block a game, he will be on an all-defensive team next year. You can mark my words on that. If he averages a block a game and the same amount of steals per game next season, he will be an all-defensive team member. And his scoring ability was not bad either. 47% from the field, 35% from 3, only 8.4 points a game. He really wasn't taking a ton of shots, and that's not what he was asked to do. He wasn't a scorer last year for Thunder. He was a defensive player. They need him to be a better three-point shooter, though. They need him to shoot close to 40% if possible. He has potential to be a 50, 40, 90 kind of guy on the limited amount of attempts he can have. He just has to hit more threes. I think that's the only complaint I have with him going into next season. Hit some more three-point shots. He's 6'4", 21 years old. He shot 34% on corner threes, and 42% all his shots are three-pointers. If he's going to take almost half his shots as threes, I want to see him knocking them down at a 40% clip, as close to that as possible. 35% is still, passable. Really, it should not be lower than 38%. Being honest about it, that's how high of expectations and standards I have set in place for Cason Wallace next season. His three-point shot needs to improve, but the one part of his offensive game that was really fantastic last season and really ever since he came into the league was his finishing ability. As you can see in this little montage right here, his driving and slashing ability is amazing as he can get the ball high up and away from the defender. Look at him throw that one down right there. His athleticism allows him to jump up that high. This right here, the little floater right there, notices Nurkic down low, getting ready to block it, floats it up high so he can't get it. Same on Maxi Kleber right there. He creates a separation and extend his arm out to where if he was going to try to block the shot, you're going to end up fouling him. He's either getting 2 points on the layup or he's going to get fouled and get 2 points at the free throw line. As you can see on all these, layups and slashing attempts right there. Every single time you can notice he's putting the ball out far in front of him, forcing the defender to try to go across Cason Wallace's body to block the shot. Even Austin Reeves right there. Look at that little scoop layup. The scoop layup of his truly is amazing. It might be the best shot he has in his bag right now. And that's not a bad thing for him as a guard. It's just you don't really want that being your backup point guard's best shot. You want him to be able to knock down the three ball. If he can knock it down at a 38% clip and still finish at the rim like he was last season with those little scoop layups and creating that separation, getting to the free throw line, as that's what you're able to do, having these little scoop layups right there, forcing the defender to go across your body to try to block the shot, which ultimately is going to cause them to foul you. He can average around 12 to 13 points a game next season off the bench. He can. Do I think that's what's going to happen? I want to see him in double digits, yes. I think it's going to be closer to 10 points a game, as I don't see his shot attempts going up as it's the same exact team. However, with the percentage increase that I think he needs to have at 38% at the minimum as a three-point shooter, he can go up to 10 points a game, getting that double-digit mark. If you still have Aaron Wiggins scoring 15 points a game for you as well, along with Alex Caruso, if he can get close to 8 to 10, you're going to be fine with your bench. You are, no problems about it whatsoever. But Cason Wallace, if he can become this kind of offensive player that Ivan White thinks so, that I think he can be as well, this will unlock the Thunder into being a back-to-back champion and potentially have the best record of all time in NBA history. I know the Warriors set that 73-9 record. They could potentially tie it. The team didn't get worse. They're only getting better if players getting, better with age, like Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is just now entering his prime, and he already won an MVP. You have Cason Wallace who can improve. Isaiah Hartenstein's entering his prime. Lou Dort's entering his prime. Aaron Wiggins is in his prime. Yeah, Isaiah Joe, Jay Will, all these guys are only getting better. But Cason Wallace, if he can take this step that a lot of us Thunder fans wanted to take, including myself, Ivan White over at Sports Illustrated want him to take and think he can take, this Thunder team can win 70-plus games and potentially set the record for most wins in a single season. That's all I got for this video. Let me know what you guys personally think about Cason Wallace and if he's going to take this kind of offensive step that I think he's going to take, or if you think he's going to stay around where he's at. Let me know in the comment section below. See you guys in the next one.